Hi, welcome to Northern Whimsy Art Studio. My name is Andrea, and this is video 1 for the Alaska Summer Birch Mosaic Kit. So with your kits, all of your materials are included that you will need, except for you need a pencil, you will need some rubber gloves for doing the grouting, and a cup for mixing your grout. What we're going to do is look at our design. So your design, the pencil drawings are not on here, so I'm going to go through with you and draw these lines in. So when I start out, I'm going to start out with kind of the ground that I want. So I'm going to have green down here at the bottom. So I'm going to make a line that kind of defines my ground level there. It doesn't have to be level. You can go up if you want more green in your mosaic. So you can kind of decide what you want for your green at the bottom. On the trees, when I'm drawing my birch trees are pretty straight, except for at the bottom they have a little bit of flare out. So I'm just coming down pretty straight and then flaring out a little bit at the bottom. And I did 3 on this tree, or on this mosaic. You can do as many as you would like. I made this one a little bit thicker, and then I came over to this one and I made him the thinnest in the middle, and I came down with a branch. So when I'm coming down with my branch, I'm thinner at the top and then I get wider as it attaches to the tree. I don't want to make my branches really thin because it's going to be hard to get glass in there, so I'm leaving them a little bit thicker. And then this one, I have thought about this. I've put some little birds in the white cup of glass, and so I'm going to leave space because I would like a bird to sit right out here on the nose of the state here. So I want him to sit right there. So I just made a branch that kind of comes out and just stops right here for him to sit on. You could continue it on out if you decide to, but I just had it ending right there. So he's kind of sitting on the end of that branch is my thoughts. I also want to put a bird down here on the ground, and I'm going to put one up here on this branch right here. So I've kind of just thought out my drawing to where my branches will accommodate my birds, and so I have the branch here where he'll sit there. I may do another branch here. I'm not sure yet. We'll kind of see how things go as I get going with this mosaic. We'll decide how it looks after I get there. So I'm just going to leave that at this moment. So when I get started on my mosaic, after I have my plan, I'm going to get my glue. My glue is Weld Bond glue. This is not regular glue, so make sure if you're doing other projects you're using Weld Bond glue. You have some in your kit. It is water soluble. If you feel like it's a little drier than what you'd like, you can add a tiny bit of water to it and mix it up. We have them wrapped in saran wrap to help preserve or keep them moist for longer. You have 3 different colors glass. I have the blue for the sky, the white for the birch, and the green for the ground with this kit. So you can mix those up too if you want. That does not have to be set on anything. So I'm going to take my birds off here for a few minutes. I'm going to start with my birch trees and get those in place. So let me move this out of the way. I'm just going to take a little bit of glue here. When you're putting your glue on, make sure you're putting it on thick enough that your pieces set down into it, but not so thick that it comes up around your glass. So I'm just going to fill in that whole tree. I should be able to work that whole tree before the glue dries. If you move a little bit slower, don't fill in the whole tree. Give it a little, or just do half the tree and then come back and put your glue in, because you don't want your glue to dry before you are able to work it. So on my very bottom one, I'm going to look for one of the bigger pieces of white glass. And I want to set that right here on that base for that flare out for the bottom of that tree. So I'm doing that one there. And then I'm going to go for one on the other side that's not quite as large. I'm going to move him up just a little bit, and I'm going to put that one right there. And just trying to find pieces that follow that shape. It's kind of like a puzzle as you're working here now. I'm gonna try him. I'm leaving space in between my glass pieces to allow for the grout to sit in, and that grout is going to add the visual effect of the dark spaces in the birch trees, or that's what we're going for anyway. Let me know if it works. So I'm going to just keep working I'm alternating the flat sides of them, so you can see the triangle. The flat side on the triangle is right here, and I'm alternating it up, so it's creating those lines in the birch trees. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because the birch trees are not all going to be 100% symmetrical, but I'm not liking that one there. I'm going to trade him for another one. I'm going to go this one. It just follows that curve a little nicer. So when I'm filling in these portions of it, I'm looking for the bigger pieces to work up that first fatter tree. And now I'm looking for some of the medium-sized pieces to work up on him. I don't want the real fat ones like I was using before. And I'm actually not going to make this branch as long as I thought I was going to. I'm going to stop it right here because I have a nice point. So I'm going to change my design just a little and have him stop right there. So then I'm going to keep working up the main body of the tree. And again, if you get glue on the top of your glass, you want to wipe it off. It is water soluble, so when you go to do your grouting, it will come off, but it's better to clean it off in the beginning. It's easier to get it off now than it is to get it off when you're grouting. Get him on there because I want to see him. Okay. If you are serious about doing the mosaic projects and are looking for some mosaic tools, we have some here at the studio. We have nippers that help to cut your glass to whatever shape that you're wanting. The nice thing about the kits is you don't have to have them. You can work without them. But if it's something you're going to be doing more projects, it would be worth investing in a pair of nippers to cut your own glass for the shapes. Okay, so we have our birch trees in there, and I still haven't decided if I want another branch on that one or not. I'm just going to hold off for a minute and make a decision about that in just a little bit. But now I'm going to get started filling in the outside. So I knew I wanted a bird down here, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my birds in where I want them. And then that way, they're there. So I have this bird facing out like that, so I want to go opposite with him. I want this one to go down like that. And this one was going to go here. So I have my framework for where I want most of my details here. So now I'm going to fill in with the other stuff. So I'm going to start with the blue over on this side and fill in this area with glue. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. I don't want to put on too much glue that I can't work the area. So just keep that in mind as you're going. So I'm going to start up in this corner and just start filling in. And filling in around the bottom. Following that line to create the definition between the sky and the ground and the trees in the ground. Staying inside the shape. If you're inside, it's a little better than being outside because you're going to fill in with some grout. So try not to go over the outside of your piece because it can create a sharp edge. And we'll show you pictures of this as the progress keeps going with it. Thanks so much.
All right, so for the grouting stage, considering that this one's an intermediate, I'm just going to give you a quick run through on the steps, and if you would like a full demo of how to grout, you can see our other videos for the fox or the bear or the salmon or the dragonfly, etc. So you'll be supplied with popsicle sticks, grout, and sponge. You'll need to provide rubber gloves and a basin for water. Just remember that when you're mixing everything, don't stir up the grout so that you breathe it in. When you're adding water, just add very small amounts slowly until it becomes the consistency of peanut butter. As you get closer to that consistency, it's going to go really fast, so go nice and slow with it. And Andrea likes to use the sponge to add the water. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can just go to our other Mosaic videos.